She only 15, left her bloody and shaking. They wasn't wearing no rags. Nobody waving no flags. You ain't even got an ass. It's black on black on black on black. Everybody wanna play victim. Blame everything on the system. Be a sad day when it hit them. Life could've been different if you would've listened to the information that we spit. Take it, keep it, chew it for a bit. Hold your head up, brother, never quit. Self-accountability, that's it. That'll get you all to the top. Then you really ball till you drop. Economic growth, man, I'm here to stir the pot. Say you wanna hear the truth, so I put it in a beat. Changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to expose ya. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't refuse this honesty that we seek. Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it.
13-year-old girls working on TikTok. You saying he just wanna learn how to crip walk. If you ain't talking about sex, then kick rocks. All they care about the chains and the wrist, watch the goddess change. This is something only God can change. Don't get mad at me when I complain about how 4 and 5 black women are beasts. Half of the murders us killing in the streets. Almost half of abortions too. This is a rap verse, but this is a warning too. And go against God like there's nothing more to do. But y'all don't care, y'all just really want abortions new. Wanna gangbang, do drugs, wish drugs all above. Sell drugs to you in the jail cell, not a club. Now another single mother, cause we lost another brother sold to an undercover. Kids gotta raise each other. This what you want for the future? Or are you trying to look cool on computers? Claim you a king, but blame the white man. When something bad happens, you feel like a loser. And keep voting the same way. Cause your parents did it too. Truth is your parents are ignorant too, and politicians know it, so now they got you.
We changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to expose ya. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't refuse this honesty that we seek. Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it.
Say, look, hey, free Masana for your honor. Left on box and them chains. What was my dog, man? Why that bullet had got lodged in his brain? My mind is insane. A memory card is locked in the game. These optical frames spot ops and leave a block full of pain. Did the impossible, cross the tightrope while dodging the rain. I put extensions in my Glock, no, I am not finna aim. Swear I got robbed and joined the army, so my spot could remain. One lost his life in North Carolina, hope he not as I sang. Drinking sorrow away on my alky still. For the soldiers we lost on the battlefield. Why am I hurting myself as I bury on belching out death when I'd rather heal? And most of these rappers ain't that for real. They mentioning that shit, they got for real. Talking fly when we push that in vacuum seal. Some of my homies not pushing on that deal. Now Ninja putting music to dream hours. We been up grinding up teen hours. They ain't believing that team power, then we had to run up 14,000. I thank you all for supporting us. This right here for the voice of the warrior. Victory is a beautiful woman. We went through the rain while in love with Victoria.
Where's a thing gonna find a thing? Where's the wood and a golden frame? I still love, I still love, I still love through the rain. Where's a thing gonna find a thing? Where's the wood and a golden frame? I still love, I still love, I still love through the rain.
Hard to hop off of the plane, just to get back in the trenches. My sister, my brother was slain, and I haven't seen any mentions from social media and networks. So irritated that my head hurts, and when I do, it's only excerpts. Small commentary from the experts. No appreciation for the lives lost. I post it up with the iron cross. When the smoke clears from fine off, all I think about is my fault, man. Should've been there to protect you. The bullets that came and they wrecked you. Now it's my duty to go and collect you. Wrapping the casket, sending you home. Not full of madness, knowing you gone. How could this happen? Tell me I'm wrong. Dip in the sadness, leave me alone. Doctor got me medicated, wanna get me regulated. Helping me recover with the pain. Even though we celebrated everything you dedicated, now I gotta make it through the rain.
Where's a thing gonna find a thing? Where's the wood and a golden
specialist Aaron David Robinson is accused of killing Guillen, and his girlfriend Cicely Aguilar is accused of helping him get rid of the body. And tonight, we have Aguilar's confession about exactly what happened the night Guillen disappeared.
Well, today marks 2 years since an Air Force veteran was shot and killed by a DeKalb County police officer. 27-year-old Anthony Hill, whose family says he's...
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. I am one of the two kings of the Rube Empire. I'm the Philosopher King, the Ivory Tower,
The Awesome King.
the Mad Scientist Matt. And I've got a perspective on things.
Yeah, you do.
And to my right,
Hey, everybody.
the Kick-Ass Duke, the right hand
Every
of the
day.
kings.
Most days.
It's Dusty!
What? Matt, how are you?
I'm good. Doing good, you know?
Good to see your face.
Out there, yeah, likewise. Just out there trying to provide for my family in bad times that are only going to get worse. Hooray!
Only a little. It only affects the rich people. Remember, it only affects the rich. It doesn't affect
Sure.
the plebes
Sure.
like
sure.
us.
Sure. In other words, Jedi mind trick, nothing bad is happening to you. You've got everything you need.
Pay no attention to the shortages in your local gas station. Pay no attention to the overwhelming price hikes of all this gas. Pay no attention
not just gas,
to the shortages
food,
at
beef.
grocery stores.
Yeah, it's everything is it's just crazy. Meanwhile,
Pay attention to plausible foolishness.
yes, do that for sure.
Subscribe.
So some quick
Leave.
news. Quick news, if you weren't aware, Colin Powell died yesterday.
He did.
Yes.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Is it? It's heartbreaking for his loved ones. We can acknowledge that. Otherwise, he was a warmonger and not a very good Republican. Was he not?
I think he was a good Republican.
No, he is a terrible Republican. What are you talking about?
I think he was a great Republican.
No.
But I'm not a Republican.
Okay, well, conservative then.
he's a horrible
Assuming
conservative.
that Republicans are supposed to be conservatives.
No, they're not.
Well, supposed to be.
I've never once conflated conservatism and Republican. Republicans are not conservatives.
Yes, we don't do that here.
But some
But
conservatives
that's what I
can be
meant.
Republican.
He was a bad conservative. Thank you for correcting me. Now please proceed to the dungeon where you will be properly outfitted for the rest of your life. All right, so he's dead. He died of COVID. Complications due to COVID. But his family wants you to
So
know.
You must not have had, He must not have had the shot then, right?
No, his family wants you to know for sure that he was fully vaccinated. And in fact, he was about to get a booster. All right? He's about to get a booster when he got sick. Okay? So that's very important that the world knows this.
So he was an outlying case. Just one of the rare ones.
Also, well, there's two things to this. First of all, he also had multiple myeloma, which is cancer. Okay. He was undergoing treatment for cancer. Okay. And secondly,
but that wouldn't affect you for COVID.
Yeah, no, that doesn't affect your immune system at all. Definitely not. My mom has had cancer multiple times, and her immune system is amazing. So she can get COVID any day of the week. No, she can't. Her immune system is wrecked, and he was undergoing treatment, so his was wrecked. Secondly, he also had onset of Parkinson's disease. So, that doesn't necessarily affect your immune system, but it does affect your body like crazy, and your mind and all that.
Well, it affects all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. But still, I mean, it's not. He wasn't healthy. All right, he wasn't a healthy 83-year-old who just and was fully vaccinated, just got COVID. But so there's that. He didn't die from COVID. He died from cancer. All right. Can we agree on that? Can we agree that they're full of crap?
Yeah.
Secondly,
yes.
What's interesting is that the family had to make sure that you knew he was vaccinated, lest he be a pariah who should be denigrated for dying of COVID, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're unvaccinated and you die, good riddance to this moron who didn't get the vaccine. You deserved it. Which is a disgusting position to take. I think this is one of the most frustrating things for me. What's that?
So, this is anecdotal, but it is something that is a little frustrating. My brother-in-law passed away recently due to complications to COVID. And the number one question that everybody asked as soon as they found out how he died was he vaccinated? And my answer to them is, doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. But that's not the world we live in. The world we live in takes the disgusting position that if you're unvaccinated, you deserve to die. No, if you're vaccinated and you die, oh, what a tragedy. And never mind the statistics. We'll follow the science. Not the statistics that science gives us, not the actual data that science gives us.
How dare you follow the data?
No, we're not interested in facts. We're interested in saying that our opinions are science.
Yes.
Or really, the opinions of our overlords. The narrative of our overlords is science. And we must follow it, lest we be excommunicated from the Church of the Jab. Right?
Right.
And so, it doesn't matter that upwards of 70% of Israel is, probably more now, is fully vaccinated. Probably 3 shots in. Right?
It said that there were, I believe, 90% of the country had at least one shot. 70% had 2.
And they're talking about 3rd, 4th rounds already, right?
Yeah, because this vaccine is so effective.
Well, there's that. But then the people who are in the hospital gotta be with COVID. It's gotta be the unvaccinated, the 20 to the 3 to 20% that aren't fully vaccinated, right? Actually, 97. It was something like 97%. It's in the 90th percentile of the people in hospital with COVID were vaccinated, fully vaccinated. What does that tell us?
Have you heard the statistics on the side effects of the vaccinated?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're looking at it happen in real life to people. There's that one NBA star that we talked about last week, who has to sit out the rest of the season because he's got myocarditis because of the vaccine.
Yep, 4 to 10% have strong adverse reactions.
And that's just immediately.
20%. Yeah, that's just immediately. We don't even know what it's going to be long term.
Not at all.
They're saying new cancers, people that are getting it. Some people could have up to 40% higher cancer rates.
There's all kind of talks of the spike proteins. You're shedding spike proteins. I'm not even sure what that means. I haven't looked into it enough, so Yeah, Roman Knightley says myocarditis is why I won't get the jab. And that's your choice to make. That's freaking your choice to make. But we live in a world where it's, where where a family is mourning the loss of their loved one, right? And they have to make sure that the world knows that he was fully vaccinated, lest he be a pariah.
Yep.
In his death. It's ridiculous. Yeah. This is ridiculous, and it's gross. And, and it's none of our business whether he was vaccinated. And it's kind of gross that they're, that even using his death to push this thing, despite the obvious question of, well, if he was vaccinated, why did he die from COVID? The truth is he didn't die from COVID. He died from cancer. But we need to push the fear. How they're using fear, but it's weird because they want us to be afraid, but then they're also trying to make us think that everything's okay, at the same time. Yeah. And I was like, and it seemed clear to me, well, there's a reason why. They want us it's obviously about control, and the guy was saying that as well. But you want to push people, you want them to be afraid enough that you can control them. But not so afraid that they go into a full panic and they're no longer controllable. If they're too free, they're uncontrollable. If they're too afraid, they're uncontrollable. You want to get just that right mixture of fear and freedom so that they're, or fear and pacification, that they're perfectly controllable. Right?
Stay in your house.
Yeah.
Vote Democrat.
Next bit of news. Do you remember Rachel Levine?
Rachel Levine. Who's Rachel Levine?
Rachel Levine is the U.S. Assistant Secretary for Health. The transgender woman.
Richard Levine?
Yeah. That used to be Shim's name. But now
I just call them it. They might need more hair, but it's still in it.
Well, she's a 4-star admiral now. 4-star admiral. Now, not in
who deserves.
Well, not in like the Marines or the Army.
Okay.
She's never served a day in her life in the military. This is in the.
Who I think deserves it more than she does, or it does.
What's that?
Timon.
Timon?
Yeah. He dressed in drag and did the hula.
Are you talking about
fought a
Lion
bunch
King
of hyenas.
Timon and Pumbaa?
Yes.
I hate you. I'm just kidding.
Well, he did.
It's true, but this isn't drag.
And at
This
least
is
something
this is
brave.
a mentally drag people have at worst a fetish, right? They enjoy dressing as the opposite sex. This person is mentally unwell, like a mental illness. You know, that they think that they're a woman in a man's body. It's unhealthy, and they're the U.S. Assistant Secretary for Health, and now a 4-star admiral in the U.S. Public Health Service Commissioned Corps. So apparently, my thing about this story is two things. First off, thank you, trans activist community and your allies, for shedding light on another useless public agency, the U.S. Public Health Service
Because it
Commission
does
Corps.
so much for people.
Yes.
Like
We have
making a shim a 4-star admiral.
Yes,
Is that right?
a 4-star admiral. Turns out the U.S. Surgeon General is only a vice admiral in this corps, right? So
The Surgeon General
the
is
Surgeon General is a vice admiral. The U.S. Assistant Secretary of Health for Health. The U.S. Assistant Secretary for Health is a 4-star admiral. Now,
So
and that happens.
what did they
apparently
do?
that happened. Yeah, well, apparently this happens to politicians all the time. Like there was a Trump official who's now a 4-star admiral, who was made a 4-star admiral, in this corps. So it's basically just a giant nothing burger, right?
So they didn't earn it through merit. It just was given to them because, hey, you have something that makes me look good if I promote you.
Yeah,
Not that you've done anything. It's that the color of your skin, your sex, how you identify works in my favor if I can say, hey, I promoted this person just because.
Basically.
They didn't earn it. They didn't do anything for it other than they exist.
I mean, they had a job in the health field, sort of, a politics job in the health field, a bureaucrat job, and that makes you qualified.
I don't think that really counts.
I mean, I guess it does for this corps, though. The Public Health Corps, Commissioned Corps. Roman Knightley says, like a modern knighthood.
I'm a 5-star. I'm a 5-star general.
That's good.
Just because I can.
Yeah, well, no, somebody has to appoint you. All right? But, like, ultimately,
I appoint myself.
All this story does is shine a light on another useless government entity that we can abolish like that and lose nothing.
Yep.
Because who knew it even existed? Who knew it even existed? And whoever probably whoever appointed them didn't know it existed, but they've got a team of people who went and like, oh yeah, we can do this. That'll be good news. And it'll probably get those Republicans all fired up and angry. And I'm not angry about it. I don't care. I mean, this person's mentally ill. And like, here's the thing: is like, she said that she's gonna be wearing her uniform a lot, like So obviously, she's proud of herself. Whatever. She's proud of herself, and
that's because she's full of.
Well, she's not well. She's not well, right?
Yeah.
So she doesn't see that this is pure pandering.
Yeah.
This is just pandering and and she's just a
Blatant pandering.
prop. She's just a puppet, a prop to be put in front of the cameras. And then the Biden administration can pat themselves on the back for being so progressive, and the world can, and nobody cares. You do nothing. You have no impact in the world, but you're gonna be proud about that? Like, how is that not insulting?
I don't know. Ask Kamala.
Yeah, I guess, money and power. Some people will do anything for money and power, I guess, It's true.
Hey, she did it on her knees. Good for her.
She was praying. Did a lot of prayer.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
I meant prayer. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. But let's get to the topic that we titled the episode about.
Yes, please.
This is an opinion piece from the Washington Post. It says, "Don't rant about short-staffed stores and supply chain woes." I'll start reading. For more than a century, business experts have been trying to dial up the United States' efficiency, which makes sense. Ever since Frederick Taylor published The Principles of Scientific Management in 1911, companies have focused on doing things more quickly and raising consumers' expectations as a result. But Taylor's ideas didn't take into account the havoc a pandemic might do to supply chains, and how that would blunt what a few months ago seemed like a looming resumption of modern daily life's zippy pace. Across the country, Americans' expectations of speedy service and easy access to consumer products have been crushed like a styrofoam container in a trash compactor. Time for some new, more realistic expectations. Fast food is less fast. A huge flotilla of container ships is stuck offshore in California, waiting to unload. Shelves normally stocked with Halloween candy this time of year are empty, as I saw the other day at a Target here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ann Arbor.
Gee.
I wonder why this person thinks... Yeah.
Conservatism.
Yeah. The issue has become so troublesome, with alarming economic and political ramifications, that the White House is stepping in, urging unions, port operators, and big consumer goods companies to work around the clock, if they aren't already, to unclog supply pipelines. American consumers, their expectations pampered and catered to for decades, are not accustomed to inconvenience.
But this is a good thing.
For generations, and this person is? Like, you're not American or something?
This is a good thing.
For generations, American shoppers have been trained to be nightmares. Amanda Mull wrote in August in The Atlantic, before the supply chain problem turned truly ugly. Quote, "The pandemic has shown just how desperately the consumer class clings to the feeling of being served." God, these people are so arrogant. I mean, there's some truth to this. I don't like the idea that the customer is always right. The customer isn't always right. And then you train people to be complete a-holes. So that's partly true. But they're still so arrogant. The consumer class. Up yours.
Right?
Customers'
But
persistent
it only
whine.
affects the rich.
Yeah. Customers' persistent whine, why don't they just hire more people, sounds feeble in this era of the Great Resignation, especially in industries such as food service with reputations for being tough places to work. Rather than living constantly on the verge of throwing a fit and risking taking it out on overwhelmed servers, struggling shop owners, or late arriving delivery people, we do ourselves a favor by consciously lowering expectations. I don't know about where you live, but in Ann Arbor, the luxury of blithely tapping on a phone and summoning a restaurant delivery that arrives in 45 minutes is over. There's a shortage of food delivery drivers nationwide. The sanity-preserving move is to assume an hour and a half for delivery, and then a mere hour and 10 minutes is a pleasant surprise. I understand people are getting frustrated, but it's time for people to take a chill pill, says Lisa McDonald, owner of Tea House, an Ann Arbor shop selling tea and gifts. I'm just not going to have the things that I usually have. Maybe they aren't going to get the purple mug, but the blue one is pretty too. The other day I found myself carrying home a loaf of bread in my bare hands because the bakery had run out of bags. Back when we didn't know how good we had it, circa 2019, I might have been annoyed by the inconvenience. Why? Carrying a loaf of bread is the same as carrying a bag with a loaf of bread in it. Now I was just glad the bakery was still in business. And they go on and on and on. All I can do is hope for the best, like everybody else, and keep those expectations reasonable. Eventually, the supply chain will get straightened out. American consumers might have been spoiled, but generations of them have also dealt with shortages of some kind. Gasoline in the 1970s, food rationing in the 1940s, housing in the 1920s when cities such as Detroit were booming. Now it's our turn to make adjustments. So like they're trying to turn us into the greatest generation. The problem is,
trying to
because, and they can make this argument because they blame it on the pandemic. The pandemic.
Nothing to do with the money, the trillions of dollars spent for people to stay at home.
Yes. Now, some of this is they mentioned the Great Resignation. Do you know what that is?
No.
Apparently, not too long ago, 4.3 million people quit their jobs. Let me.
Can you imagine why?
It was
why would
it was in August.
Job?
In August, 4.3 million Americans quit their jobs. Now, if you quit your job, are you eligible for unemployment?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
As far as I know, you're still eligible for federal unemployment.
You don't have to have a reason for why you quit?
You can say whatever you want. Working conditions are unmanageable. I can physically no longer do this job. Whatever you want to say.
I'd like to look into that more. I'd like to look into that more if we can get a chance. I don't disagree with you. I think that's probably true. I know, so let's say at best, people aren't going back into the workforce because they don't have to, because they're paid more to be at home. Why 4.3 million people quit their jobs? Probably because they're sick of being the only ones working because nobody came back.
Yeah.
You know.
And then being denigrated because some of them have questions about this vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
that's the other thing.
This month, you're fired if you don't take it.
Yeah. Yeah, Roman Knightley says, when I lost my job at the start of the year, I could have made more on unemployment than what I make now. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I could have made almost $150 more a week staying home rather than working.
Couldn't we all use an extra $600 a month? For sure. So,
what did I do? I continued to work.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
I'd rather work for my money. But meanwhile, your wages aren't going up, and the price of things is going up, right?
Correct, which means my money's worth less.
Yeah, exactly.
i.e. inflation.
Exactly. So, the pandemic... Did the pandemic have anything to do with this?
Yeah.
Well, if you consider this a pandemic, then yes. I mean, this. Okay, how do we put this without getting kicked off of YouTube?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was a sickness, but our reaction to it is what caused this, not the sickness itself. All right?
Okay, I can buy that. Yeah.
It's lockdowns. It's policies, it's unemployment, it's a bunch of garbage being thrown on the table. It's vaccine mandates that aren't actually mandates because they don't have to do anything. They haven't, actually issued any kind of order or law or anything like that. But companies still choosing to enforce it, though that's starting to fall away. Southwest has reversed their plans. Delta said that they weren't going to do it.
Well, Delta said that they were never going to do it.
Yeah. Well, they just announced that they weren't going to do it. But Southwest actually reversed their plans. Roman Knightley says my state minimum wage is $8.25 an hour. McDonald's now pays $13 an hour. What's the new minimum wage? $13 an hour. If that's what McDonald's
whatever the
is
lowest
charging.
amount that somebody's willing to pay. Chick-fil-A in Apopka, I think, is hiring at $14.
Wow.
$14 an hour. That's. I'm actually considering taking up a second job just so I can make some actual extra money.
Yeah. Well,
not that I have time to do it, but it would be nice.
So the thing is that all of this is kind of artificial. All of the lack of staff, all of the supply chain woes are kind of artificial. I mean, they're really happening, but they're happening not because there's not enough work, not because, well, there's obviously tons of work, not because there's not enough people available to work.
No.
Not because
there's plenty of people.
The disease ravaged our country and destroyed and just killed so many people that there's just not enough there to do the job. That's garbage.
So
it's all
I was just looking
policy.
at statistics. 680,000 people died from COVID thus far, right? As of yesterday.
Minus inflated numbers due to
minus the
comorbidities
inflated
and all
number.
that.
I'm just going off of what Google says. 680,000.
This is not not minus. This is not including the actual numbers when you stop inflating the numbers with their garbage.
They're garbage. Just leave it at they're garbage.
They're garbage.
There's 9 million jobs available currently in the United States. Just as an anecdote, there's an intersection on 436 here in Orlando where there is two people who walk up and down that with homeless signs saying, "We'll work for food." There is a McDonald's with a help wanted sign, a Burger King next to them with a help wanted sign, a Chick-fil-A with a help wanted sign, and an Arby's with a help wanted sign. Arby's, Chick-fil-A, and Burger King are all offering $14 an hour. McDonald's is offering $15 an hour. The homeless person has every chance to walk in there, get a job immediately, and make a living wage for Orlando. What are they doing? Walking up and down the street with a sign.
Because they make more money doing that.
Because they don't want to work.
It's but we're supposed to get used to this. Because we've been pampered and catered to. And the consumer class they talk about. The arrogance of this all is so frustrating because ultimately the elites have they've pushed us towards this. Like,
yes,
this isn't how do I put this? They're not,
I don't know.
This was planned. This is the way they want us to be.
What do you mean it's a pandemic?
No, not the pandemic. That is definitely true by YouTube. But they want us to be entitled.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted us to be weak and entertainment driven, you know? Basically, we're only concerned about our stuff and our entertainment and
mostly about our entertainment over our stuff.
Yeah. But stuff is part of entertainment, you know? We want to be able to jump on Amazon and buy something when we're feeling bad and have it sent to us and get there the next day.
Yay,
you know?
dick.
But then obviously they're creating these other conditions now to bring it all down. They got us to that state on purpose so that now they can do their garbage and and bring the whole system down.
Yes.
Drive the dollar into hyperinflation. And then enable their cryptocurrency, their
one world currency.
It won't be long before it's that. Their centralized
What do you want to
bank
bet?
Currency,
what do you
digital
want to bet?
currency.
That the UN comes out with the digital dollar before the United States. United States inflation hits, the dollar goes through the roof, and everybody goes to the United Nations dollar.
I think it would be more like the World Economic Forum would do that, or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Where they ship the oil.
Or we just jump on. Why don't we just jump on? China's already got a digital currency. Why don't we just jump on theirs?
Because I don't want China's.
Yeah, but they don't care what you want.
That's true.
I mean, Biden is China's boy. You know?
I call him China's witch with a capital B.
Yeah, in some ways, but he's making fat stacks of cash off of it. And so is his family.
Yeah. But hey, IRS isn't going to investigate that.
No. Quid pro quo. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah. But this is... It's a problem. We need to be like... We need more people like Roman Knightley who choose to work instead of being a ward of the state. But...
Roman Knightley, you're the man.
For sure.
Even if you're the woman, you're still the man.
But we have, I don't think there's enough people like that, and it's because they engineered it to be this way. And so that's why that opinion piece gets my rankles, or gets. I lost the word. Anyway, it makes me angry.
Yes.
The reason it makes my hackles up. That's what it was. The reason
hackles. Okay.
It does that is because these people are talking about the consumer class. This woman is talking about the consumer class as if she's not one of them. Okay. And how
she didn't define it very well either.
They've been catered to and pampered for so long, which is a condition that they wanted us to be in. All right.
Yes.
And now, blaming it on us and telling us that we need to get used to it. We need to get used to inconvenience. Meanwhile, they're engineering through you can say it's incompetence, but I don't think it's incompetence. I think it's purposeful. I really do. I don't think that it's necessarily Joe Biden doing it, but this has long been the plan. And we're just supposed to sit back and deal with it. Just deal with it. You've been catered to and
Just
pampered for long enough. Just get over it and lower your expectations. Lowered expectations.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Lowered expectations. 3, 5, 4, 6, 7, 2, 9.
Beep. Oh man.
Joe Biden here. I just think, come on, man. Just, and well, there's these things, and and you don't all need the. Come on, man.
You forgot the. Anyways.
I'm not that good at reading, so lowered expectations.
That's a Mad TV reference if you don't know what we're talking about. And
please, for the love of God, if you don't know what we're talking about, Google it.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Watch it on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Mad TV wasn't my favorite, but it did have some gems.
It had some really... Stewart was one of my favorites.
Roman Knightley asks, are there still troops in the Capitol, sleeping on the floor? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yes.
Yes, there are?
There's about 1,000. There's still about 1,000 troops.
Where did you see that?
There was a protest recently in the Capitol, and they brought back like 1,500 troops or something like that, and they're supposed to keep like 1,000 of them until the end of this month.
Okay, so are you talking about the FBI protest?
I have no idea. I don't know what protest it was. I just know that there was supposed to be a protest of something or other.
That was the one that you hadn't heard of, right?
Yeah,
that we were starting. Yes, that was a Fed protest. That was not a protest against the Federal Reserve. That was the Feds, the FBI, and so on, basically making up a rally to try and arrest people. Have you seen the pictures?
Yeah.
And they're so obviously Feds. It's like disgusting. And then you got that one guy who's an undercover policeman, and he's got his gun, and they swarm him until they see his badge and realize he's one of them. That's how incompetent this was. Like all the big names were like, we have no idea who's running this, what it is. I wouldn't go.
None of us is doing this.
Yeah.
Sorry, the stuff that's supposed to be well organized and everything like that usually is very spontaneous. For example, that date in January.
Yeah, the Capitol riots.
That was complete and total spontaneous. It wasn't supposed to go that way. It wasn't supposed to do any of that.
Oh, you mean when the Capitol Police opened the doors and ushered people in? When they pulled back the barriers? Down. Yeah, and let people...
And go ahead. Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah, that was spontaneous. It was actually probably planned by the same people who planned this other rally.
Yeah.
So that then they could lock down everything and have troops stationed and make it look like they're, doing something. And
arrest a bunch of people.
Yeah, and arrest a bunch of people because these people are scumbags and they want to rule us. They want to control us. They want to silence us, and it's disgusting. And this crap of get used to it. learn to deal with inconvenience is another way that they just want to silence us.
Yep.
They just want us to shut up. This is the new normal. Get used to it and stop talking about it. Shut up. No,
Just
I'm not going to shut up.
Just take it.
People need to go to work.
Just take it.
People need to go to work. All right? You need to stop paying people to not work.
Yep.
And we need to get this economy going again. And if you have any integrity whatsoever, go and get a job, even if it is less than what the government pays you. The government is paying you with your own money and the money of your neighbors and the money of your children and the money of your children's children and the money of your children's children's children. All right? We're $30 trillion in debt. Probably more now. Okay?
And that doesn't concern anybody? Because I know it does me.
Yeah. They're not paying. Where are they getting this money to pay you more than you'll get at a actual business?
Yeah.
It's debt that your kids are going to have to pay off. And it's going to be increased taxes for generations to come. Not to mention all the garbage that they're doing on the world scene for the New World Order.
The child tax credit that they're giving everybody right now.
Yes.
That's not money that they're just giving you. No, that's the money that you are supposed to get back next year when you file your taxes.
You're supposed to give back?
No, that's the money that you're supposed to get
it's
towards your taxes.
Yeah, it's the child tax credit just paid out in installments instead of getting it in one lump sum when you do your taxes.
Yeah.
But even then, like we shouldn't
January.
have child tax credits and all that stuff. They shouldn't be taking taxes at all because taxation is theft. But let's say that they did. Let's step around that point and say the progressive tax code is an abomination that messes with people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
And the situation with jobs in America and everything, it messes with the economy like crazy.
In the worst
and we need to
ways.
at best simplify it. At worst simplify it. At best, it's gone because taxation is theft. And the government figures out how to make money like the rest of America does. Or maybe the government doesn't exist and they can kiss our butts. That's where I'm
Or
leaning.
they become a for profit.
Something. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Except the obvious one, that is no government. That we don't need them. Their claims to authority are a complete sham. And we've been... And the only reason we reject that notion is because we've been trained to our whole lives. Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. And with that...
Yeah. You've been watching Plausible Foolishness. Home of the Rube Empire. Where the people are free. First of all. Secondly, the taxes are voluntary. Thank you all who subscribe and pay your taxes that way. Also, there's a link that's labeled taxes in the About on Twitch and in the liner notes on YouTube and Facebook, where you can donate if you want to help us. We have a goal of $150 so that we can keep multi-streaming. So every dollar, every penny helps us reach that goal.
Please.
And then, lastly, the Rube Empire, where we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, anywhere you can get a podcast, Rumble, Instagram, and minds.com. Peace out.
They gon' hate me for this one. Hashtag facts are racist. R.I.P. mom, you the greatest. Raised up a king and they hate it. Everyone mind about races when they're not the biggest problem we facing. Take a real look at the nation. Single motherhood inflation. Whipping your boys, I saw jumping a lady. She only 15, left her bloody and shaking. They wasn't wearing no rags. Nobody waving no flags. You ain't even gotta ask. It's black on black on black on blacks. Everybody wanna play victim. Blame everything on the system. Be a sad day when it hit them. Life could've been different if you would've listened to the information that we spit. Take it, keep it, chew it for a bit. Hold your head up, brother, never quit. Self-accountability, that's it. That'll get you all to the top. Then you really ball till you drop. Economic growth, man, I'm here to stir the pot. Say you wanna hear the truth, so I put it in a beat. We changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to expose ya. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't refuse this honesty that we seek. Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it.
13-year-old girls twerking on TikTok. You saying he just wanna learn how to crip walk. If you ain't talking about sex, then kick rocks. All they care about the chains and the wristwatch, they gotta change. This is something only God can change. Don't get mad at me when I complain about how 4 and 5 black women are beasts. Half of the murders us killing in the streets. Almost half of abortions too. This is a rap verse, but this is a warning too. And go against God like there's nothing more to do. But y'all don't care, y'all just really wanna point that's new. Wanna gang bang, do drugs, wish drugs all above. Sell drugs till you in the jail cell, not a club. Now another single mother, cause we lost another brother. Sold to an undercover, kids gotta raise each other. This what you want for the future? Or are you trying to look cool on computers? Claim you a king, but blame the white man. When something bad happens, you feel like a loser. And keep voting the same way. Cause your parents did it too. Truth is your parents are ignorant too, and politicians know it, so now they got you.
We changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to expose ya. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't refuse this honesty that we seek. Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it.